Alright guys, this is about, I don't know, 40, that's about 48 hours now. And as you can see there, right in front of you, there's a little guy. Sorry about the camera work, guys. It's very difficult trying to get up into this light because I'm using a little strip light. It tends to start flickering. It captures the pulse in through the tube. So I'm trying to do the best shots I can without the glare. But that's about the best I'm going to get for now. Now probably another 24 hours. The rest of them are going to hatch, and they'll start free swimming. Which is then we've got to wait for a while then, because they've still got the yolk sac, so they're still going to be absorbing that. You can see the odd little tail there just wriggling around, and the odd ones that do fall out. The proud dad. There he is. Hello my mate, how are you? You're doing a grand job of looking after those kids. He's sat there quite happy, keeping his eye on me, making sure I don't go anywhere near that nest. Keep it nice and still, and every time one of those little babies falls out of that nest, he'll take it back up and pop it back into the bubbles. Hey mate, go on then, go and have a check on those kids. And that whole cup that we put under there is absolutely stuffed with bubbles, as you can see. So by tomorrow night we'll do a bit more filming, and I'll keep you guys informed of what's been going on. So we'll tune in tomorrow and have another look at these little chaps and see how they're getting on, okay? Alright guys, as you can see, Jack is now patrolling the bubbles. You just see one there just fall out. He hasn't seen it. Yes, he has. A lot of people think that they eat them, but what they're actually doing is collecting them. You see that one fall in there? As he spits a couple up, back up into the bubbles, a couple more fall out. They're starting to get active now, and they're starting to swim. That means they're wriggling, they're releasing from the suction of those bubbles, and falling down. But he's going down, he's collecting them all off the bottom, if you can see there, all those little dots, and he'll take them back up and fire them back into those bubbles again. And that's his job. There's another one there falling down, another one there. Yeah, he's seen that one. And this is basically a constant job for him now, as some wriggle around, drop out. There goes another one there, you see. It's hard to film, it's because I've got a lot of glare in this tank, but I'm doing my best for you. Let me see if any drop out. You see, he's spitting them up, and then he's getting them again and putting them back up. But by doing that, he dislodges other ones. So it's a constant little battle for him. He's doing a good job though, fair play to him. They'll keep him busy. There's hundreds of them up there. There comes a few more. He just puts them up and dislodges other ones. But by keeping the bottom of the tank clean with no substrate, he can see them. He'll collect them and take them back up. There's a couple just coming into frame there. 3 of them there, look. Landing on the bottom. Here he comes, picking them up. And he'll go and put them back. So hopefully now, by the morning, we'll have some more free swimming. We haven't got any free swimming as yet. They're swimming around the nest and popping back up again. You'll see now a few more coming down. Here they come. It's snowing. It's snowing baby Bettas. Look at that. And there he goes, collecting them all up again. He's going to be doing this now for the next 24 hours. Before they get enough power, they've absorbed some of that egg yolk, and they get a little bit more power in their little engines, in their little tails, and then they'll be free swimming then. But until then, he's going to keep popping them back up in the bowls. So we'll pop back and see him tomorrow and see how him and the family are getting on. Okay guys, it's day 3, and as you can see, all the little tails hanging down there from the bubbles, and Jack's doing a splendid job still, collecting all those little babies that are swimming around, falling to the bottom, and he's popping them back up in the nest. Here he comes. Pop one back. You can see all those little tails wriggling away. It's not going to be long now before they're free swimming. try and get a bit of a close-up shot for you. You can just see one drop in there. There he goes. He's just picked it up. Another one there. You can see them hopping around. They're starting to become a lot more lively. Their egg soaks are being absorbed. And they're looking a lot stronger today. But it won't be long before they're free swimming. So we're going to get back to that when they are. Alright guys? I just thought I'd tell you all these little bits as we go along, just so you can see everything on every little stage as we go through this breeding process, so you don't miss anything out. Alright guys, I'm going to try and get you some amazing footage here, these little guys. I've taken Jack out of the aquarium now, because he's done his job. He's put all those little babies back up into that nest, kept them off the bottom, and now they're all free swimming. They're just hopping around. You can see them zipping about. Some are in focus, some aren't. I'll try and get you zoomed in. If you look carefully, you can see the little tiny little bubble, their little swim bladders there. But we have got a very, very good hatch rate for the hundreds of eggs that were laid. For the hundreds of eggs that were laid, we've had quite a good hatch rate. Obviously some of them weren't fertile, some of them mortality rates vary with each brood. As you can see, the floor is crawling with little micro life, infusoria, all that kind of stuff, and that is why we put the moss in, because that has already been cultured with it. It's already on there. The Indian almond leaves, they're all breaking down slowly, so they're releasing microscopic food particles and things which these little guys are living on. And now and again you'll see them, they'll hop forward and they'll grab one of those little guys and eat it. Yeah, he's looking at one. See his little fins going? He might get it. Oh, bang. I think he got one, I'm not sure. I just looked away for a split second then. Trying to keep this as still as I can because of such a magnification on this camera that I hope it's coming out clear for you. But you can see it's crawling in life on the bottom there, which is fabulous stuff. Now that gives them all they need from when they first hatch, and that is why we put the like I said, that's why we put the moss in there, because that creates that first little culture food for them to eat. You can see them hopping around there, picking bits up, and they're going to put on some weight quite quickly. They're all over the tank, they're all over the almond leaves, all over the moss, all over the heater, and stuck to the side of the glass as well. But they're all doing well so far, which is encouraging, and we should have some lovely little fish in amongst this lot. One of you said, what are you going to do with 1,000 Betta? I don't think we're going to have 1,000, but we're going to have quite a few, and hopefully we'll get a good few of these through and out of this larval stage. Now what I'm going to go through with you today on this video is we're going to obviously we've got the microscopic food in there which they're picking away at as I'm talking to you. You can see them creeping up and eating them. But I'm going to show you how I feed them Walter worms, which are a very, very small worm. They're even smaller than micro worms, baby brine shrimp, all that kind of stuff. They're very, very small, and you can easily get the cultures online. You can keep them going. Little water flea hopping around in the background there, or a little Daphnia or something. I think it was a Daphnia. It looked like one. But they'll eat that. It's all food for them. And but we're going to go for these little micro worms. I'll just yeah, he got one that he's eating away. Magic stuff. It never gets old breeding Betta. I used to breed these years ago, like I've said on a previous video, and they're so small. They're minute little guys. They really are. But it's lovely watching them with the newer cameras and things that we've got today. We can get some beautiful little shots and insight into their little micro world while they're small, which is fabulous to see, because I've never seen it sort of this close up before. When I bred them years ago, we never had these sort of cameras then, so I used to remember looking at them through a magnifying glass. That was quite interesting. But it's lovely to be able to record it, and so you can save it and you can look back and say, look, that was you when you were tiny. Right, what I'm going to do is go and get some of these micro worms. I'm not going to put any in there today because for the next few days there's going to be quite a bit of food in there that they're going to be surviving on. As you can see, it's just crawling everywhere. It's alive with micro life in there. And the Infusoria doesn't create, it's not just one species, it covers a wide range, the copepods, all that sort of stuff. Just that micro life which lives in your aquarium, which you never see. But when you zoom in up like this, nice and close, like if you get a magnifying glass in your tank and look at the glass, or just a drop of water out of your aquarium under a microscope, you'll be absolutely amazed what's living in your water. All different types of little creatures and critters running around in there. But this is their starting food. See if we can get a close up of that chap there. Little pair of beady eyes looking at us. No, I'm not going to get in that close. But you can see them, they're all over the place. They're stuck to the glass. Little beady eyes looking at you from all over the place here. There's still some up in the bubbles, up in the column here. And also lots of micro life crawling around on the glass as well. There's a little chap there, there's another one there. I'm doing my best for you guys for this footage, but like I said, it's very, very small. Right, let's go and get some of this, some of these little water worms to show you. Right, there you go, guys. Here's a little culture of water worms, and you can see them on the glass. I'll do my best to get a nice close-up shot for you, so you can see them. There you go. Lots and lots of them. Now these are super easy to culture, they really are, and to keep them going all you need is oatmeal, and that's it. Ready break, stuff like that, and you mix it up. You add a little small packet of yeast into it, mix it up into like a little paste like you can see in the bottom there, and basically get a starter culture. There's lots of places on eBay that do these water worms if you want to start breeding them, and once you buy one culture, that's all you're ever going to need, because you can just keep making new cultures all the time and splitting them up. I've got about 3 or 4 of these little tubs which I'm breeding them in, and have been. Make sure you do all these things before you start breeding the Betta, because otherwise if you think about it afterwards, you're not going to have, you know, these things take a week or so to really get going. Now this is a youngish colony there, but there's hundreds of them in here, thousands and thousands, and they breed very, very quickly. I don't think I'm going to get any closer of that tub, but it's literally crawling with them in there. And of a night time you'll see they'll come up the glass and up the side of the tub, sorry. Now what you do is you scrape these guys off with a needle or a pin or a toothpick or something like that. Just scrape them off. Make sure you don't get any of the ready break or oatmeal and any of that in the tank, otherwise you're going to pollute your water up. So all you want to do is just literally scrape those guys off the side, and then just put them either in a bit of tank water in another tub, and wash anything off them that is on there, and then use a little turkey baster to suck them out, or a little syringe or something of that nature, and then just squeeze them in the tank. I'll show you doing that later on, but they've got plenty of food in there for the next couple of days. So I'll let them clean that up first and put a little bit of weight on before you chuck these in. The micro life is the best thing to start them off with. The Infusoria is the best stuff to take them to that next level of growth, because it's they're so small, these guys, that even these tiny little water worms, they're big enough to take these, but anything bigger, like the micro worms, white worms, anything of that nature, and baby brine shrimp, these little fry can actually choke on them. So you've got to be very careful that you don't lose them, because you can lose quite a lot of fry that way from choking. And when they're that small, there's no way in a million years you're going to be able to help them. So make sure you start them off, let them put the weight on before you introduce any of the bigger types of food, because of that hazard. You don't want that happening. So that's those little guys in the pot. There they are, all on the floor there, all looking happy. Jack's back in the tank. I'll go and show you I've made up one of the other tanks now in my shrimp room now for him and all of his mates, because I've done a little bit of moving around, so I can show you him now. Okay guys, here he is. I'm in the shrimp room now. There's the proud dad of all those little babies. It's a right glare in this system, so I will warn you, but that's the tank that I've just made up, and I've got all the sponge filters running in there. I've got a lot of guppies, endlers, the mountain minnows. I've put all them in there, and we go around to this tank here. Now this is absolutely stuffed with Java moss, subwassatang. It's got all the floating plants, duckweed in there, dwarf water lettuce, all that stuff. So that's where a lot of these babies are going to go later on. But there's Dad, and he did an absolutely fantastic job of rearing those, getting those little babies through the egg stage and the breeding side of things. Absolutely beautiful job. It's going to be really interesting to see what colours come out from these. There's his girlfriend there. She's seen him. She's in the other tank, the other side, and they're still keen to get together. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. They really did take well together, those two. Sometimes you get a little gut feeling and you think one's going to go well with one. Sometimes you've got to introduce them to a couple of females, 2 or 3, sometimes even more, and they won't have any interest, and then suddenly bang, it all works and it all happens. And it couldn't have worked out any better with Jax. He took to her quite quickly. And she's in there just mooching around, picking off all the little bits. There's quite a few shrimp in here as well. I can find you some. Oh, there's my little glass dish I made. There you go, here's one down here. It's full of berries as well, look at that. So that's a good sign. But the little shrimplets aren't going to last long in there with her in there, but she's not going to stay in there. Everyone's going to get moved around again. Because we've got to make room for these babies. Here you go, I'll give you a quick look at Frank. How you doing, fella? You moody today? Or do you just want a stroke on the head? He comes up, he loves his stroke on the top of his head. Yes, this tank's going to be fabulous for the babies when I put them in here. When they go, I'll wait till they get a little bit bigger. I'll wait till they get a little bit bigger, and then we're going to put them in here. We've got all these water plants in here. Like I said, it's stuffed with Java moss and all different types of plant life in there, and it's absolutely stuffed with micro life for them as well. So they're going to have a field day in there, rooting around. Plenty of cover for them if they start to get, you know, obviously it's going to be a few weeks yet before they start getting feisty with each other. But this is where they're going to be going, and I think they're going to thoroughly enjoy it in here. Okay guys, I just thought I'd show you this beautiful little girl as well, because at the same time as I paired up Jack, I also paired up this chap. If he's going to have a look, I'll go on autofocus. He's a stunning little chap as well, who I've had for some time. You haven't seen this guy before, but they bred at exactly the same time, and if you look up in the bubbles there at the back, they've also got a clutch of eggs. Now he's looking after those, so we're going to have a few more babies kicking around. As you can see, he built nowhere near as a bigger nest as Jack did, but that nest is stuffed with little eggs. I'll try and get a better view for you of the eggs up in the nest, but you can see them all up in amongst there. Lots and lots of little eggs, good 100 eggs there, I'd have thought, maybe even more, but you can see them all. So I bred those as well, just to get a little second batch, just in case anything went wrong with Jack and his girlfriend, but everything seems to be going swimmingly at the moment. So we're going to let these guys hatch out in here and let Dad look after them. I'll put the big almond leaves right underneath the nest. Sorry about that glare, but I'll put the almond leaves right underneath the nest there, so when the babies do start to drop, they will land on that leaf where he can find them and return them back up into the bubble nest. So That's another little trick for you if you've got a planted tank. I've done this like this before. It's a bit of a longer distance, obviously for them to fall, but in nature there's not just one strict depth of puddles and things and little things and ponds that they're in, so it just makes it a little bit easier for them in the shallower water. But we're going to let this brood take its course in this tank. It's got a micro filter at the back there, so nothing, you can't actually see it. I hid it away down the back there, but you can't see it. But it's a micro filter on there, so none of the babies are going to get sucked through there, because I used to breed shrimp in this tank, put shrimp in here so the babies wouldn't go up, so they're very, very small as well, so that'll cover that. But that's what we've done. So we got a load of eggs up there from these two now, so we'll see how they get on as well. Anyway guys, what I've done is I've put the tank now from the shelf up to the top in the window, so we get a little bit of natural light in there, which doesn't hurt, because any little bits of algae that grow, this is just a growing out little tank, so we're not fussed about a little bit of algae growing on there. It's beneficial, to be honest, because everything will live off that which is in there, and it's going to create a nice little environment for them. If we can go in and have a last little look. You can see them there, stuck all over the glass there, all over the place they are. There's a big gang of them over there. Look, lots of little beady eyes looking at us. Anyway guys, that's the update on the babies. Everyone's healthy and well. Jack's back in his tank, his girlfriend's in the other tank. Babies are growing. They're growing out on the micro life in the tank here at the moment, but next time when we have a look at them, we will be feeding them some micro worms, some of those water worms, and obviously getting some brine shrimp in the hatcher, and getting some of those ready as well, because you don't want to keep them on just one strict type of food. You want to mix it up a bit, because this is the most important time of a Betta's life, is when it's small, they're growing, and it's what you put into them now is what you'll get out of them later on in their lives when they colour up, and you'll get some beautiful fish that way. So now's a really, really important time to condition them up. Anyway guys, I hope you liked that little episode of these little guys growing out. If you're new to the channel, pop back and have a look at the other videos that I've done. It may encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, as always guys, you're all stars. Love you loads from me and all this little gang. I'll see you on the next edition of Marks Aquatics. Take care, bye for now. Just me and my guitar.